Weird. Explorer's been a lot of red-black lately, and I think this deck is a reasonable choice for being able to go over the top of that deck with some consistency. You've got Omnath, Locus of Creation, which generates value and a lot of mana. We've got Escape to the Wilds that draws a lot of cards. Zendikar's Roil is a card that always overperforms every time we play this, especially if, God forbid, you ever get Zendikar's Roil and Risen Reef going at the same time. We got a little bit acceleration interaction at the bottom of the curve. We get to play an 8th card here that we draw relatively for free, and then it's also noteworthy that Chandra's -3 does not hit elementals, so it's fairly one-sided. Let's go ahead and pop on into some games with this and see how it goes this morning. Jodel, thank you for the year and a half. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. The apocalypse needs to end on Unite. Yeah, ideally last week, but I'd settle for this week. What's going on, Cody? Thanks for the 41. Appreciate the prime number of months on the tier 2 sub. What's going on, Slipstream? For the 2 years, it has been a trip. Yeah, I think Dodrio will be very good in Pokemon Unite when Mime is no longer omnipresent. We'll keep this. This might be a Tangled Florahedron as a land angle. We'll see. If I draw a 3rd land, we're going to play this as a spell. Alright, we drew the 3rd land. Going on, Doji. Thanks for the 28 months. I loot box, so you don't have to. Echoplex, good morning, good morning. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Well, Beansy, even if you know how to play Mime, you're supposed to push your buttons and run at people. There ain't a lot to it. Okay, so my only white cards are elementals, and we have Secluded Courtyard, so that covers that. So we'll just, like, grab a green source here. There's been a lot of online discussion about if Twitch should ban people streaming gambling on the platform. But remember, as my opponent puts their Perihelion into play on the 3rd turn, that Magic the Gathering should definitely be exempt from a gambling ban. If they were to ban gambling on Twitch as a platform, that definitely would not include incredibly skill-based games like Magic the Gathering. Hey, Flame Freezes, thanks for taking advantage of that September discount. I appreciate the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to the channel. All right, we'll bring in some Soul Guides. We'll bring in some extra Doom Blades. Hey, well, welcome to chat. Remember, too, if you want to chill with Hoaglandia when I'm not live or not during your workday, pop on into the subs Discord server as well. Got a pretty active side of our community there. Tippity tap land on 1. Untapped land here would be ideal. Nailed it. Never didn't have it. They put any boats in the bin? They put a little boat in the bin. What's going on, Alistair? Thanks for checking out for almost 3 years. Welcome back. We'll see what they play out here. I might greed a little bit and Risen Reef before we Omnath. Still no boats in their bin. It's good for us. And the fact that they played that before we Risen Reef here seems great for us. No land hit there is a little sad, but it is what it is. Still only a baby boat. I think I'm gonna Risen Reef again here first. They're like, we're not under a lot of pressure or threat from them, so I think we're chilling for the time being. I guess I want to get planes, and then we can Omnath into Fabled Passage, Escape the Wilds.
Enough with the mysteries. I've come. I've always hated crowds.
So, Mr. Omnath, the fair and balanced. Gain some life. We get to make some mana. Get to cast Escape to the Wilds. We go ahead and I can play only one of these next turn, so it kills their plane. Why does it kill their planeswalker too, chat? It just does so many things. These are a few of my favorite things. Blocks 15. Alright, chat. So we Zendikar's Roil. I need to put full control on because in response to this, I need to crack this. So that way we could go get our basic out before put too many more lands into play here. So again, every time a land enters play, Zendikar's Roil makes an elemental. Every time an elemental enters play, Risen Reef triggers, etc., etc. So I have 6 total mana. And Abrade the Grease Fang Cheeto Fingers their face. Your move, Yugi boy. Oh man, we got a discard to hand size. Unlucky. Unlucky. Alright, I have another, I forgot we had another Cheeto Fingers shit. All the Omnaths kind of look the same. Definitely happy with how we sideboarded. Just go ahead and run it back here. My body is ready for the 5-color Omnath next time we go back to Zendikar. I've added a color to him each time he's re-released. Ready for the ultimate variation. What were they? Thoughts he's my interactive card and then we die? I guess we technically have 2 interactive cards, but I do need a red mana. Ooh, so they have a slower hand then? If they're taking Omnath and not my Soul Guide? What's going on, Negative? Thanks for the 3.5 years. It's a long time. Thanks for keeping me around. Opponent scared, chat. We put the fear in him. Punish for playing the tapped land here. That's fine, chat. Having spells that you're able to cast is overrated anyways. Nobody wants that. Least of all, me.
Those who get in my way can't drop it.
Am I dead? Did I die? Did you get me?
We all have things we can do.
Hey, I just need a Risen Reef off the top, Chip.
Off you go.
For a Risen Reef, a Cheeto Fingers, an Escape to the Wilds, one of our big go over the top style cards. Actual factual worst draw on the deck. Is that the only spell we could draw that we couldn't cast? Yeah. Actual only spell that wasn't castable.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Hey, need a live one. Good. Lost game 1, they're just kind of getting combo killed. It's one of the strengths of the Abzan decks, one of the better decks in the format for sure after red-black. And then just kind of a real awkward draw on that last one. Opponent getting to, I don't think I regret my keep, but getting triple discard spelled meant that we just never got to get anything going. Yeah, if we drew Omnath, if we could have cast the Omnath we drew, it had a shot-ish. Maybe, I guess if, like, we just have a white land in play there and our cards are the same, we, like, draw an Omnath and then, like, they just Edict us, right? And then, like, I have a Fry in hand that doesn't do a whole lot. We get one card deeper the following turn, so, like, maybe it gives us a redraw, but we didn't, like, have a land after it to, like, give us a life right away either. Even if the Omnath had been castable there, it was still one of the only okay-ish draws in our deck. Risen Reef definitely would have been better. Hand's pretty good to red-black, champ. What's going on, Archangel? Thanks for the 28 months. Welcome back. Ooh, a piece of cat. They know we have Exodia in our hand, champ. Huh. They're very clearly holding up a removal spell, right? So do I just Yasharn then? I think so. I think they're holding up Doomblade for Omnath here. Give you a different 4/4 and pass. These didn't do nothing? Lovely. Lovely. Got me.
I knew you needed.
And then Chandra actually dies if this Escape the Wilds finds a land. And we found a land there. Alright, Rakdos. I have a nice little box for you to get into in the ground. Rakdos meet Trash Can. Trash Can meet Rakdos. And I'm actually going to hold Leafkin in exile for a turn because I want to cast it after we Risen Reef. Oh no! Not Liliana the Veil! How will we ever win the game now? What if she 2-for-1s me, chat? Cats! They have Doombladed my divination. We'll have to try and scrape this game out somehow, chat, but our divination's been Doombladed and I don't know how we'll ever fully recover. I gotta discard one of my 5 cards? I'm gonna twist my arm about it, I guess. Hopefully one of my draw 5s will help us slog through this experience. Go ahead. This is all I got. We're struggling out here, chat. We're struggling.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Hey, Sanzai. Thanks for ripping that prime. Welcome back. Morning, good morning. Okay, so we're just gonna like flip our deck over here then, right? It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. Do 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 do. So every land makes an elemental. Every elemental draws 2 cards, every land makes an elemental, and then eventually you find Omnath Locus to the Roil, and you just like reach your hand deep into the bag of Cheetos chat and smack your opponent across the face with it. It's a good system, really. Alright, I believe we were boarding this matchup last time. We were just doing Soul Guides out, Chandra, Yasharn in. Yasharn turns off their miscellaneous blood and treasure tokens, and it's also just like a body that draws us lands. And Chandra is nice in these interactive matchups. Yeah, this is fine, right? Has all of our colors. This makes white. We have an accelerant. Lovely, lovely. Will the push be fatal, opponent? Mercy? He's been cut down. This card's gotta be worse than fatal push in this format, right? What do we think? Is there a spot where we think that's better? I'm gonna go tap land pass here, I think. I need a non-basic forest to cast this next turn. Lovely. So obviously it's likely to die, but I just want to use my mana and can't trip it. Because again, even when Omnath just eats a removal spell, he drew a card when he came into play, right? Your wild card for. I mean, Fatal Push is an uncommon, right? It's not even a rare. Yeah, you know what, like, Arena gives you copious amounts of uncommon wild cards. They are decidedly not a problem if you've been playing at all.
Something suspicious is going on. And for one, off you go.
Hey, is that a good draw, chat? Start there, right? I guess if I would have gone untapped land, I could have abraded the shaman this turn. Yeah, I think that was probably better. Because next turn I'm not going to be able to cast all 3 of these. Although it saves me the Abrade for the reflection. Yeah, it's close, but I think I should have gone untapped land and then just discarded the Tangled Florahedron to this Liliana plus here. letting him chill on the reflection for a turn so I can get these out. It's like, look at how full our hand is, right? Like, actually, we actually have to discard the hand size again here. Yeah, I shouldn't have taken both lands with the Yasharn. Although I guess if I would have hit a land off the Risen Reef trigger, I wouldn't be discarding the hand size, so it's probably fine. It is an elemental boar. Blocks here, obviously. I like how they're still just like discarding cards. Like, trust me, bud. I promise you this is better for me than it is for you. Let's Fable the basics out of our deck before we start Risen Reefings. That way. I think this is only one more beast in my deck, or two. So we get to Risen Reef into Awakened Inferno here.
You chose the wrong day to cross me.
Yeah, the flavor text on Chandra's -3 being relevant is always a treat in this deck. Oh no! Not my Chandra! How will I ever overcome this loss, chat? We'll figure it out together somehow. Would you like to make me discard a card?
Fine. I know when I'm not. One of your friends has to leave.
You have to leave. You haven't seen this deck before, chat? It means you don't keep up on my YouTube channel. We played this deck 2 or 3 times in the past. You haven't seen that before, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. There are playlists up on the front of that channel for all of the decks that we play here on stream at various points. Great way to find Explorer and Historic things. I'm honestly, every time I play this deck, I'm surprised it isn't more popular. There's a different variation of this archetype that's like really greedy and bad that plays like Temur Ultimatum that people are playing for a little bit, but the slightly smaller version I think is much better. This deck already goes plenty over the top of red-black, but it's still low enough that it doesn't just die to the aggressive decks. Is it a wild card hog? Is that the Yorion version? I don't know. I don't know offhand. I just know there was a build that was like, had a really bad win rate that people kept playing. I will take an Unlicensed Terse. I will take a Play with Fire. Do I want to Shakedown Heavy? I'm going to think on the Shakedown Heavy, chat. Think on the others. Yes, yeah, other people play like Fires of Invention builds that are unnecessarily greedy. In your political minute for the morning, chat. Between July 1st, 2021 and June 30th, 2022, these are the number of school book bans by state in the United States. I'd like to just point out the old deep red down here and here. A couple others up in here, but, you know, just, you know, banning books. Looking back historically, all the political parties that do that are always only doing good things, right? You gotta ban the books. Damn liberals and their hatred of free speech. Yep. Never forget, chat, every accusation by the right in the United States is a confession. So when they complain about the thought police and the liberal brainwashing, just keep that in mind. Just gonna cantrip this in the red-black matchup, try and guarantee we hit our land drops here. What kind of books are they banning? I believe the Florida and Texas ones are largely powered by removing books that they deem contain elements of critical race theory. And if you live outside of the United States and don't know what I mean when I say critical race theory, it's basically conservatives are upset and trying to whitewash America's deeply racist past. They're banning non-binary math books. I assume this Risen Reef is dead, right, friends?
We all have things we love.
I am out of here.
Alright, so Lily can trade with Omnath, but then Omnath cleaned up both their planeswalkers, so like that's a net win for us regardless. Correct, Sammy. Critical race theory, by and large, is never actually taught at grade school level classes.
I'm tired of your secrets.
College subject that was turned into a scare word. Man, back in like 2017, 2018, Christy and I had actually looked into relocating to like Arizona, Texas, and Atlanta. Now, the way everything played out with the pandemic, I am incredibly grateful that we stayed in Illinois. All right, untapped land here so we can Chandra, please. Guess this kind of works. They don't have Fatal Push. Omnath gets to kill Lily. I'm supposed to draw a card there to give myself a better chance at the land, actually.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
Get out of my way. I'm burning up here.
Trading my 6-mana Planeswalker for their 3-mana Planeswalker is not great. I have one card in the bank here, at least. Definitely not out of this game just yet. We've got, you know, our Escape to the Wilds and Omnaths and Risen Reefs that come in and generate some card advantage, but definitely a little bit behind at the moment.
know what's next for me.
Do I crack the fetch and cast Leafkin? Could do, right? There could be merit to holding the fetch for after Omnath's turn, though. Got 8 lands in play at the moment. Your 2/2, go to 13. We do this before we Omnath. Wow! With the... No, wait, I'm good, right? I'm good? I forgot I had the Leafkin. We're good. I thought I couldn't cast this because we get Steam Vents and we have 2 blue right up, but no, we're fine. Okay, and now I get to go... this... into this... into her... Man, remember when this game was, like, really close, chat?
Make some more room.
You remember that, like, brief moment in time where we're like, okay, we're a little bit behind, but we can catch up? We caught up. Remember when all of our cards were gone?
Try to come back for you.
The King of Fire design is on the battlefield. Magic's a tough game sometimes, shit. Reach my hand deep into the bag of Cheetos. Our lands draw cards now because of the other Omnath. What's going on, Rhino? Thanks for the 3.5 years. Welcome back. Hey, nice, Mikey. Yeah, the CSI token turned out really well. We're just sideboard the same way we did last time. 2 soul guides out. Yasharn, Chandra in. No legend roll, they're different Omnaths. They're from different timelines, Chip. Parallel universes. 3 mana Chandra, or 3 color Omnath, 4 color Omnath, Chip. And I really don't like mulliganing in this matchup, but no red, no blue is a tough sell. I'm bottom the Roil. It's a powerful card leader in this matchup, but it does cost 5. Dang. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and 2-for-1 this. Love to Risen Reef before we Omnath here. Just want to get Keen tripping. Our goal is to just get to 5 lands in this matchup, so that way our what's it called can come rolling off the top. Our escape to the wilds. Oh my gosh, I just clicked the wrong land. My brain did a stupid. Good, that could cost us shit. No white mana. Mistakes were made. We're gonna draw an Omnath I can't cast and deserve to lose, Chip. What's going on, Benes? Thanks for the over a year and a half. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. That's what we get for talking and clicking at the same time, champ. Dangerous, dangerous game. Talking and clicking at the same time. Our next mana base is good. My brain and my clicking ability, not so much. Goblins with the new Lord isn't really meaningfully different than goblins without the new Lord, Mikey. It's still just a Muxus deck. Edge that I misclick lost us that game. Let's keep 3 on the play here, huh? Everybody kept 7. Let's do it. Sure. It's the deck is better than it was before, but the deck's not fundamentally different in what it does, right? Like you're still just a pile of cards that puts Muxus into play and then wins the game. You have a new grindy element that helps you accomplish that goal. Whoa, they didn't stomp there? They have a sorcery speed piece removal they want to use? Excuse me? Alright, Fabled Passage, please. If this hits a land, it's also insane for us. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, papi! Papi! Just, you know, the old casual draw 8 cards for the turn. No big deal. No big deal. Everybody calm down. Was best case scenario for us, right? I mean, drawing a Fabled Passage is better case, but yeah, once we miss the Fabled Passage, it was a pretty good case scenario. No blocks, friend. Go to 21. Got me. I mean, this is free usually, right? It just replaces itself in terms of mana. Wow, sick beat. Gross. That was like actually a little unlucky, right? Wow, look at this complete and utter disrespect for Risen Reef, chat. Right, let's remind our opponent why people wanted this card banned in Standard, huh? This is 7. In theory, we could kill them with Cheeto Fingers here, right? Yeah, chat. Listen, if you're fed up with losing to Red Black in Explorer, and there's a lot of it, this deck escorts Red Black into a trash can very consistently. Yeah, kill the Risen Reef, chat. Kill the Risen Reef. Oh, goddamn respect, okay? This is the way we draw our deck, draw our deck, draw our deck. It's just a 1/1, chat. It's a little baby 1/1. How many cards could it possibly draw, Michael? Your entire deck? This matchup is probably bad, question mark. I actually don't know. Maybe we go over the top of them? I don't know. I don't know who goes over the top of who here.
One drop.
Fine, let's find out. Both of our decks are large and looking to be in charge. The opponent's deck is also good into red-black for going over the top purposes. You're looking for something with a little bit more budget mana base. Ugin and Ulamog are very scary. They are usually not an Ugin Ulamog deck, Boshek. They're a Storm the Festival deck, if you're not familiar with the green deck in this format. Which is why I think we have a real shot here. Now, Ugin Ulamog is arguably too clunky to be good into red and black.
I am not frightened.
They're like just big enough, basically. Yes, Roil would be very good. Agree. Now, the opponent's archetype has never played an infinite card combo.
I am proud to have fought.
Counter on my boy Omnath here so he doesn't die to a skyship. Leafkin doesn't make 2 mana until we have 4 creatures, so... Second Risen Reef was never an option last turn.
The ocean surges, life thrives.
No, it's 4 creatures in play. We dead? Yeah, we're just dead, right? Soul Guide's out for sure. Feels like a Yasharn out matchup. Can we bring in the Flame Blessed Bolts for killing their mana dorks? So we'll bring in a Chandra's extra cleanup at the top end, and the rest of these cards are very good. We'll fetch Island on 1 with this, so we can go untap 2, this on 3. Wow, imagine not knowing what Explorer's staple Leafkin Druid does, RM Cody. I just can't fathom it. Gotta send you back to remedial mana dorks. Play some catch up. Alt-T format all-star Leafkin Druid. Alright, Chad, our opponent has some mana dorks in play. I understand why Leyline of Abundance is banned in Pioneer. Yep. Yeah, so the opponent's archetype is actually the most popular deck in Pioneer, in large part because it's one of the only decks in that format that has a decent matchup into red-black, which is the second most popular deck in Pioneer. The Explorer version here is still missing Nykthos, but I believe it has most everything else at this point. Nykthos win. Hopefully never. But by the time they get around to that, it's just banned. Yeah, legendary lands in general are kind of unfun play patterns. And then Nykthos is a little extra on top of that even.
I will defend my allies.
Their Storm the Festival hits Cavalier, which hits another Storm the Festival. I assume they're getting like a Meteor Golem or something to kill my Locus to the Roil.
Stand down.
Alright, they need to actually kill Locus to the Roil, right? Because he threatens to start drawing cards here. Really, speaking of, we really need one of our big sources of card advantage at this point. One of our draw fives.
I'm Chandra, the immolation sensation.
Immolation sensation, shit.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna hold on to this land for now, because if we draw a Zendikar's Roil, I want a land drop to make afterwards. Holding the land opens us up to the insane series of Risen Reef, draw Roil, play land as well. So those outs are unlikely, but they exist, so you want to play to them if they cost you minimal to do so.
Strange and
Don't mind if I
magnificent
take
world.
my octopus for a walk? Nature flows with vigor.
Let us begin. O fencer.
Land is also good if we find our second Cheeto Fingers, that's true.
Rise, my elemental friend.
We'll draw another land, too. It's a pretty good one. I feel like I need to play that match a couple more times to get a feeling for it. Our draws were definitely beyond mediocre there, while theirs were very reasonable. Puts the Rakdos on the skin or else it gets the hose again. I believe we're only 3 out of 5 for Rakdos matchups this morning, so batting a little below average, honestly. Born and end it. Hey, Lambton, thanks for that super generous tier 3 and welcome back for 2 years. Passage is getting a plains. Look on the right land this time. This Yasharn is getting a forest. Morning, Spurt. Thanks for re-upping the prime. Happy Monday. Oh, I'm dragging a little bit this morning, Chip. I had a really nasty storm blow through at like midnight to 1 a.m. last night. It kept me up. Little bits of hail in. And live wind. Are they trying to crack the treasure and fatal push my Yasharn? Cause that ain't worked that way, friendo. It ain't worked that way. You can fatal push me after your goblin dies. That's a fair trade.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it. Ah, one of your friends has to leave.
Play Leafkin and then bin the Abrade to the Liliana here, I think is fine. They said they don't recognize it as theirs, Weens. If they show up and they're a dickhead, we'll just ban them again permanently, but I'll unban them for now.
Don't think things.
Just yours and all red-black. This is only 3 out of 5 for red-black, chat. It's actually an incredibly low amount of red-black given the average state of this format. I mean, our deck's not really a synergy deck. We have, like, a lot of individually good cards that also happen to have synergies with each other.
I know when I'm not. I've always hated planes.
But, like, this game is more about the fact that, like, they had 3 lands and then all gas and used every bit of that gas to kill us more than anything. And we didn't see any of our valuable top end tier. Yeah, I'd agree with Kyle's take there in chat. I think the only kind of bad synergy card we're playing is Into the Roil, and I think that card's over the top potential is high enough that it's worth playing a pair of them. But the fact that it's a bad synergy card is also why you can't play more than 2. Because, like, in the mid to late game, you're happy when it shows up, but you also don't want to clump up on them when you're behind. It's definitely good at putting you way up over the top, though. So, sometimes you're going to keep a hand like this, and it's not going to work out, and that's okay. I'm still keeping it. I think this is the type of matchup where you need to run hot spells off the top of your deck because of their Thought Seizes and many Disruption, and I think there's a lot of value in guaranteeing that we're going to hit our first 5 land drops. So I wouldn't fault anybody for being a coward and mulliganing this hand, but I think you'd be wrong to do so. Be brave, chat. I believe in you. What's better than having your opponent Thought Seize you and seeing all lands? Having your opponent Thought Seize you and seeing all lands plus life from the loam, and then reminding them that Thought Seize isn't optional and they have to discard your life from the loam.
When people start screaming, yup, you're going down.
Loxodon Smiter. The name I haven't heard in a long time. How about the old Obstinate Beloth, chat? You remember old Obstinate B? He was playable against Burn. You were happy to have him.
Get out of my way. I'm burning up.
Clean up our friends. You know, that Obstinate Beloth would be a really good card to print into these formats.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
I think that one would go a long way in a good way. So if I do this, puts a 4th one into play. Then Omnath gives this to Cheeto Fingers for 4. Then Chandra's down tick actually exiles, so we can exile the up dog.
The best way to destroy.
And then we can send 4 into their Torch of Defiance.
Fight fire with fire.
Listen, chat, they banned Field of the Dead. Have a 5-mana Field of the Dead in play.
Today's my lucky day.
Is it, Chandra? Is it? Alright, any land draw cantrips if they can't kill Omnath. If they can kill Omnath, we still get to trade Planeswalkers here. They don't have another removal spell. We get to send the 3 of these. I don't have a blocker. Alright, hoping for a live draw. It's live-ish. It's a redraw. I think I need to throw away one of these 2/2s in order to deal 2 to Chandra, so that way she can't down tick on my Locus to creation here.
Yup, you're going down.
Fair sequencing worked out. I didn't get to actually cast our escape, which may or may not have been a mistake. We'll see if we have enough gas in the tank without it. They unnerfed Omnath. I mean, this is Explorer, Marty. So he was never nerfed here.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit when we win. One of your friends has to leave.
Okay, so we're actually better off playing this as a land because it gains us 4 and makes it 2/2. Good to go. Kill your Liliana.
Nothing more.
Kill your Chandra. Your move.
It's over when I say it's over. Hope it's not too.
So we don't actually need extra mana from this land this turn, chat. So we'll pass the turn with it here, because if we crack the Fabled Passage on our opponent's turn, it'll be able to gain us 4 life again. We'll just get to keep buffering that up. I don't think we're quite into garbage time yet, but we're definitely getting close here. Every turn that goes by, it feels like this is slipping more and more away for our opponent. Alright, I think this puts us in firmly into garbage time.
Then get ready to meet mine. Utterly is the best way to destroy things.
Won't be very much garbage time, so we got some emblems here closing it out. Oh, man. Definitely happy with how we boarded. Run it back now, y'all. When I started this sub, Carnage Tyrant was oppressive. Look how far we've come. Stop! Turn back! Wait, no. It's gone, Hobbit. Thanks for the 21. Life's swell for you. Yeah, I agree. Unless something crazy happens in terms of design. Fall 2018. That'll be like that 6-month time span, I think. There's definitely like people ask, Jeff, what was your golden age of Magic the Gathering? That's probably my answer. It will definitely go down in history as the golden age of Magic on Twitch. I would be shocked if this category ever beat the metrics we had during that time frame. Yeah, six mana Vraska was a playable Magic card. Say what? I only discarded one card there, chat. A little scary. Alright, this might be a game where, because we're on the draw, they can apply enough pressure. They're threatening to fire up a creature land next turn. We'll see if we have time to escape and Zendikar's Roil here. This is a chunk for 6. Den of the Bugbear is so good. Well, that was the best draw on our deck if they don't have a 2-mana removal spell here. Rats. You know, I wonder if we think they're that likely to have a 2-mana removal spell, am I actually supposed to play the Fabled Passage before I Omnath so I get to gain 4 life there? Probably, right? It obviously removes my ability to, like, play 2 lands in the event that they don't have it, but I guess they'd already played 2 removal spells. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm probably not supposed to do that. That's close. Going first is busted, yep. Turns out. That lethal? Not quite, but also yes. Heyo, Grannis! Thanks for the 36 months. Appreciate the 3 years. Welcome back. My lights got bumped into my desk as we were bringing it down. Oh. I mean, oh, I can't. I was about to say I'm gonna respect this Risen Reef and just Omnath it, but with the forest I actually can't there. Mistakes were made. I assume this matchup is very bad for us, Chip. The opponent's deck, typically speaking, when other people play decks like what we're playing, they have very little respect for anything and just end up going way over the top. I think I'm fine with that trade. It's close, though. So I'm going to decline this because I haven't played a land for the turn. And this way I can play it out from hand. Get a trigger on our Omnath friend here. Rewarded for our sequencing. I haven't played a land yet, right? So I get to go. Oh, I'm sorry to say, I thought they'd go untapped land, Leyline binding my Omnath, but they didn't. Deal, I guess. This is Chandra minus for the Omnath.
I'm Chandra, the immolation sensation. Ooh, exploded.
Some colors of mana up here. We can cast other spells if we draw them that might need colors of mana. 12. We're obviously a little bit ahead here, but sweepers could be in the range of things that their deck is playing, is worth noting.
To burn. Bye-bye. With your not being on fire problem.
Relatively close to dead.
Let's start at a sizzle and see if you make it to the Inferno. Bye-bye. Sorry, friend.
I should have played Tangled Florahedron out last turn for the extra 2/2. Alright, chat. We aggroed them out. Fry kills Omnaths. And Risen Reefs? We just like play a dispute or two? I'm gonna cut a land on the draw. We're on 25 land plus 4 flip cards. Right to kill their reef. Ramping on our own is also appealing, though. It is an elemental mirror. Their deck's bigger and greedier than ours, but we managed to steal game 1 with a somewhat aggressive start. Well, I guess not only is killing the Reef appealing, but with this sequence, they also only get to play one of their leyline bindings for any value, which is nice. What's going on, Ornell? Thanks for the 34 months. Welcome back. It's making some mana. So they've got, what, 7 here? 5 cards in hand, plus 3 in exile. One's in exile are going away here shortly, though. They're playing Soul of Wind Grace. Okay, sure. Let's get a repeatable source of the Fabled Passage, I suppose. I assume we're dead to the activation on this Wind Grace here. Take game 3 on the play. Happy with how I boarded. Let's run it back. Oh, I guess rather than attacking there, I could have drawn my Orphanguard. Or probably stepping on this or something. Just a brain. Gotta fetch the planes now and get my auto pass on. Risen Reef on curve all 3 games is pretty good. Should have had this in play and they should be at 20. Sequencing on my part was less than ideal. Alright, so best draw in our deck is Fabled Passage. Take a redraw at it. Hit our 5th land at least. You also played 80 cards, you'd have Risen Reef on 3 all the time too. That's true. It Yorion does add a lot of consistency. I think with the Yorion drawn to hand, we just murder the Risen Reefs here. Just gonna get him on out.
Get out of my way. I'm burning up here. Glad I can help with your not being on fire problem.
Think I want to get on board to pressure the Chandra here. It's close though. Buffering our life total up a scotch before they start giving us emblems is also helpful.
Oh, looks like someone's getting a little.
Alright, do I get to untap with Daddy Locust? Could be. Could be an untap with Daddy Locust angle shit. They have Leyline Binding as their last card. Swords to Plowshares is pretty good, Chip. We're in decline putting that into play because I want to play it after we have Omnath out. Did not, unfortunately, hit the land on the Omnath trigger. If we would have gotten to escape the wilds and go kind of crazy.
Exploded.
Oh, they're so much better at having Fabled Passage than we are. Dead? We're only mostly dead. They double topped their scries. Alright, I'm terrified. Okay, we're doing stuff. I think we're still behind because of all the cards in their hands. Maybe Risen Reef and Omnath and Yarok means they're gonna deck themselves. That's the hope here. Yeah, 48 cards. It's gonna take a while, Chip. Magic 8 Ball says outlook not good. All right, what's our out here? I think our out is hit a Risen Reef, floop our deck into play, kill them with Cheeto Fingers. Is probably the series that leads us to victory here. Okay, double Cavalier Thorns trigger, chat. This mills a lot. This is the kind of movement that we need here. Omnath's draw is not optional. So when you put the land into play, you're drawing the card. They can ley line some things. That's true, but they have to go through, like... They've already had 2 of those. And, like, obviously you're going to see a number of cards this turn, but... Like, there could be a ley line in the bottom few. They could Yorion things with... They could ley line with Yorion. Well, then I get some things back, right? I get to draw some cards that way, which I think ends up fine for us. I don't know. I'm just going to let them play their turn, and we'll see what the board state looks like when we untap. Wait, do they just Cheeto Fingers this, but it's not enough for lethal? Oh, they're killing the Lord. Got it. Okay, Risen Reef is still out here, chat. We've had 1 Risen Reef and 29 cards. If we find Risen Reef, there is a high probability we kill them next turn on the back of this Fabled Passage and the Zendikar's Roils. What's going on, LD? Welcome to Oglandia's first grade class. Appreciate the 72 months. It's been a trip. Welcome back. Alright, Risen Reef slightly less likely to be lethal with only... Oh my god, they get both of them because of Yarok. I told you we were being outgreeted, shit. I think that's probably the game at this point. Yikes. Anyways, interact with enchantments in my 75, right? Ah! We'd have got there. Sedge. Yeah, the opponent had Risen Reef on curve all 3 games in their 80-card deck, and we had it like 1 out of 3 games. That was the game we won. Yeah, we'd have likely killed them if they had missed on the 3rd binding, but they have an 80-card deck, so they're always gonna have it. Hey, I'm enough Explorer for the morning. Let's play some Historic. I don't really have a wrap-up on this deck. It's fine. Some people are gonna go over the top of you.